Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be my review for the second movie I saw today. Yes, I did see two movies today. This was the second movie I saw today, and that movie was X-Men Days of Future Past. Now, I was really looking forward to this movie, and I'll explain why. Let me find it. I'll be right back, guys. Let me just find it. Alright. So I'm going to say this right now. When a movie called X-Men First Class came out, this was the movie that changed the way I think about superhero movies. Like, I like superhero movies, but after X-Men First Class came out, I became obsessed with superhero movies. Like, I had this whole year where I was, obsessed with superhero movies, and X-Men just changed my view on that. So, I was obviously really looking forward to this one because X-Men First Class is probably one of my top 5 favorite superhero movies of all time. I just think it's a fantastic movie. It was a great way to reset the franchise. It was a great way to start up the franchise again, and I was really looking forward to this one. When I heard that they were not just doing the last one, they were actually combining elements from the last one, from the other 3 movies into this, I thought, genius, that's awesome. And then when I saw the trailer, which I'll be honest, guys, I did not see trailers for this movie. I wanted to go in blind. I didn't want to know much of anything about this movie because I didn't want any spoilers. I don't really watch trailers anymore, so I didn't see the trailer. However, I was really looking forward to this movie, and as a result, X-Men Days of Future Past is amazing, and I'm just going to say right now, it is the best movie I have seen in 2014 so far. Yes, I will say right now, it's better than Captain America. I know you guys are like, oh, better than Captain America, that's not possible. It actually is possible, because this movie is better than Captain America, and I'll get to that when we get to the spoilers, but let's just get to what this movie's all about. Basically, it takes place in the future, and the war between X-Men and, Magneto and things like that, it's gotten really bad. It really has gotten really bad. I mean, there are these big robots that basically are so much more powerful than the X-Men that that barely any X-Men are left. I mean, there are a couple left, but the only ones that are left that are, really well known are Storm, Wolverine, Professor X, Magneto, and 2 other people. I don't know their names, though, but they're also alive. And basically, it's getting really bad, and, Professor X is really upset about this. So, he wants to try to go back and fix what happened. Basically, what we find out is that the whole reason this occurred is because Mystique killed this guy who's played by Tyrion Lannister, a.k.a. Peter Dinklage, a.k.a. Tyrion Lannister. She killed that guy this one time, and that was the first time she ever killed someone. And she did that just because he was making these robots, basically. And she did that because of that. But it turns out that by doing that, all she did was make things worse. And, Professor X wants to go out and try to fix this. However, he's very old to fix this. He really can't do it now because his powers are not as strong as they used to be. And the only person that can do it is Wolverine. So he decides to send out Wolverine to try to Ultra Pass, not only stop Mystique, but also to get, Charles and Eric to be friends again, because part of the reason all this happened is because they're not friends again, so he wants them to be friends again, and that's one of the big things that Wolverine has to do. So that's the main plot of the movie, and, I mean, that plot right there is awesome. I love the plot of this movie. I think it's a fantastic plot. I love the way they did that, and that's one of my favorite parts of the entire movie, is just the plot. I thought that is genius. I love that, because I mean, I know, yes, it is part of the comics, but still, it's a genius plot, and I think it's awesome that they did that. So, let's just get to, the performances in this movie and the acting. The acting in this movie, this is probably the best acting I've seen in all the X-Men movies, I must say. I mean, I reviewed the Wolverine for you. That is nothing compared to this. Honestly, the Wolverine was good, but this is by far, I said that, Hugh Jackman did a great job as Wolverine the last one. This is by far his best performance as Wolverine. I mean, he really does a great job in this. I mean, there are parts in this where basically, I'll explain it. Basically, when he goes into the past, if he feels any sort of pain or memory or anything, he could end up making things worse for everyone. There's a lot of scenes where we're in his head and we're seeing all these terrible things that happen to him, and you can just see all the terrible shit that's happened to Wolverine. It's really sad, honestly. And I just thought Hugh Jackman did a really great job with that. There's this one really great scene between him and, you know, James McAvoy, who I'll talk about in a second, but Hugh Jackman, great job, loved his character in this movie. James McAvoy, I loved James McAvoy's acting in X-Men First Class. He was great in this as well. And one of the things I love about, you know, Charles Xavier in this movie is that part of X-Men Days of Future Past is, you know, he got lost. He kind of, just stopped, you know, he kind of lost hope. And that's one of the biggest messages of X-Men Days of Future Past, is you can't lose hope. And because of him losing hope, that's why the war has happened. So I thought that was a great thing that he did. He did a really great job in it. And also Patrick Stewart, of course, you know, he has a little stuff to do as Professor X. He's always great, but James McAvoy is fantastic. However, the best acting comes from Michael Fassbender as Eric. He is amazing in this movie. I mean, he was great in X-Men First Class. He has this one scene towards the end of the movie that literally had me on the edge of my seat. I mean, there's this one great monologue he has at the end of the movie, and it had me on the edge of my seat because I had no idea what was going to happen, and I loved that. I thought that was fantastic, and I loved his acting in that scene. It was just so, so good. I loved that so much. I thought he was great. And the only other person I want to talk about is Jennifer Lawrence, which, believe it or not, you know, Jennifer Lawrence, she had a lot to do as Mystique in the last movie. She's in almost every scene in this movie, and I love that about her character, because one, Jennifer Lawrence is one of the best, in my opinion, one of the best actresses acting today. I mean, she's extremely attractive, which is great, but two, she's just such a great actress. She can really get into a role, and she really got into this role of Mystique. I feel like, you know, she was great in X-Men First Class, but she was first starting out. She wasn't Katniss Everdeen yet. Ever since she's been Katniss, you know, she's really done a great job on her roles, and I feel like she did even a great job on this, and there were some really great scenes with her character in this movie, and I really loved her character in this one. I thought she was definitely really great. Also, Nicholas Hoult as Beast was also really, really good. I enjoyed his character overall in the movie. And also, I can't forget, you know, Tyrion Lannister himself, Peter Dinklage. He was a great villain. I loved his, you know, he was a really great villain in this movie. He definitely did a really great job. I wasn't used to hearing him without the Tyrion accent, but, you know, he's fantastic, and I loved his character in this movie. He was great. So now that we've gone through the acting, let's go to spoilers. So if you have not seen X-Men Days of Future Past, don't watch the rest of this review. After you've seen X-Men Days of Future Past, then come back and watch the rest of this review. Alright, so let's talk about the biggest thing that happened in this movie. First of all, when Wolverine drowned, when he was about to die, I honestly thought Wolverine was going to die in this movie. Because if you remember, in the Wolverine, they said, your time is short, you're going to die. So I thought Wolverine was going to die in this movie. And I was just like, no, Wolverine, don't die. And then when Storm died, I freaked out. Because, I mean, Storm's an awesome character, but I did not expect Storm to just get to die like that. I thought that was a huge scene. I was not expecting that at all. And the other thing I want to talk about is Magneto. Is Magneto good or bad now? Because Magneto, he was trying to get those robots to basically attack everyone. When the president was giving that speech, he got all those robots to attack everyone. By the way, I forgot to say this movie takes place in the 1970s. I should have said that before. But in the past, it's 1970s. But when he got them to attack everyone, I didn't know what he was gonna do. I honestly didn't know what was going through Magneto's head there. So I'm like, what is he doing? But then when he gave that great speech and he's like, look, if you think of us as these bad mutants, look at these people right here. This is what you're going to end up like. So I'm thinking that Magneto had good intentions, and we really did see that he had really great intentions. However, where did Magneto and Mystique go? Because we know we saw them leave at the end of the movie, and then, I'm really confused as to where they went. I don't know where they went or anything, but it's going to be really interesting to see where they went, because remember, when Wolverine came back, he doesn't remember what happened after 1970. He doesn't remember what happened from there. So, definitely whatever, and at the end of the movie, we saw that guy with Mystique's eyes. So obviously Mystique did something to Logan to erase his memory. I don't know what she did. I think that, she kind of is still torn, because she didn't want to follow Charles' rules, but at the same time, she didn't want to be dictated what to do by Eric either. She didn't want to be good or bad. She wants to be somewhere in the middle, which honestly, we are all, as humans, we're all somewhere in the middle, so I can really sympathize with Mystique on that because we're all somewhere in the middle. So Mystique, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with her in the next movie. I'm looking forward to the next movie, actually. The other thing is, now we have Jean Grey back. Yes, Jean Grey is alive, and it's going to be interesting to see, you know, what's going to happen there, how they have altered things and things like that. I'm really looking forward to the next movie, by the way. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they've altered the past. It's going to be awesome to see, and I can't wait for that. I think that's going to be fantastic. I can't wait to see how they altered everything. It's going to be awesome. And then the very end, you know, we saw the character of Apocalypse in the post-credit scene. Where do I think that's going? I honestly don't know yet. I'm interested in seeing where that's going to go. But I guess we'll just have to see. You know, the character of Apocalypse seems like a very interesting character. We're going to have to see what happens there. Oh, I also forgot to talk about Quicksilver, who's played by Evan Peters. Great job from Evan Peters. I mean, he's great in American Horror Story, but he also did a great job in this. Some of the funniest scenes came from his character. He was great. And, you know, I think, I thought, you know, he was great in this movie. I mean, he had some really there was this one really funny scene. I'm saying it in spoilers because I don't want to give it away. Basically, you know, one of the reasons that he was such a great character was because of that one scene where, you know, he freezes everything and he, like, you know, makes all of the military and the Secret Service agents and all of them, he makes all of them end up, like, getting hit by all that food and stuff. That was really funny. I laughed at that scene. I like that this movie had humor, too. I forgot to say that. That was great. That's basically it for spoilers, though, because that's all I really have to say. But let's get to the action in this movie, I mean. The action sequences are amazing in this movie. These are some of the best action sequences in any X-Men movie. I mean, it is so amazing in this movie, and I love the action in this movie. There's so many tense scenes. It's basically, I mean, the first 5 minutes of this movie is full-on fighting combat. It's awesome to watch, because you have the X-Men going up against these robots. You have, like, one of them is on fire, one of them is ice. I don't remember what the names of them, but one of them's on fire, one of them's on, you know, catch with ice. So it's really awesome to see that whole fight. I love that beginning scene where we saw all of them fighting. It was really awesome to watch, and I really did love that. So the action in this movie was fantastic, and the special effects in the movie was great too. I mean, there's some really great special effects in there. X-Men always has great special effects, but this one was really, really good too. So yeah, overall, X-Men Days of Future Past was amazing. I also love that they basically reset the story. You know, we're back at the school, but we don't know where Magneto and Mystique went. Honestly, I don't know where they went. I don't know where they're going. I think probably Magneto is probably going to be friends with Professor X now, because if you remember, in the before they changed the future, they had that truce, and I think Professor X is going to stick by that truce, because I think he's realizing their fighting was pointless. I think that's what he's realizing, that their whole feud and everything was pointless, and if they feud again, it's going to lead to that future, and he obviously does not want that. So I'm thinking that he's going to either he's going to try to be, he's already friends with Eric, or he's going to try to be friends with Eric. You know, maybe Eric doesn't want to be friends, and he's going to try to be friends with him. We'll have to see what happens there, but I'm very interested in seeing that. But overall, X-Men Days of Future Past was amazing. It is the best movie of the year, best movie of the summer by far. It's going to be really hard to see. It's going to be really interesting to see what beats this movie. I'm sure there's going to be something that beats it. We'll have to see. There are a lot of other great summer movies coming out, but this was a fantastic movie. I loved everyone in this movie. Let me know what you guys saw of this movie. Was this the best X-Men movie? In my opinion, yes, it is the best X-Men movie. It had everything I wanted in it. Who gave the best performance in this movie? I thought everyone did a fantastic job. What do you think of the twists in the movie? What do you think of the way they've basically reset the story? What do you think of the twists in the movie? What do you think about things like that? That's it for my review. Hope you enjoyed. My next review will be for, I don't know yet. It's either going to be for the Violet cast recording or Turn. So I don't know which one it's going to be yet, but I will see you guys for my next review. Okay, bye.